Hey there, Stormtroopers. Tonight, we are playing Fetchless Blue-Red Gifts Storm. If you follow this channel for a while, you know that I generally like my fetch lands in my Modern Storm deck. Catherine Rivera has donated for me to play the Fetchless version. So, Catherine, thank you for your support for the channel. We're going to talk a little bit about Catherine's list, and then we're going to play a league. So, when you're not running fetch lands, you usually want to split up your island with your snow-covered island for gifts and given purposes. Honestly, this doesn't come up that much in my experience, and the snow covered land usually is a dead giveaway for the fact that you're playing Gift Storm. Um, and I think the usefulness in this has honestly died down a little bit over the last few years because of things like Fiery Islet and Riverglide Pathway. Like, you're going to have four lands that you can go get that aren't going to be detrimental. Even if it's like a Siobhan Reef that you take one, I don't know if that one matters so often that it's worth splitting up your lands. Splitting your lands doesn't hurt, but it can be a dead giveaway. So I'm usually not a big fan of that, but Catherine's list has it. It's not a huge negative. I'm just calling out the pros and cons of the choice here. Catherine is opting for 3 copies of Opt. I didn't mean to say the same word twice there, it just sort of happened. And then 3 copies of Sleight of Hand, 4 copies of Serum Visions. This is interesting because Catherine wanted to fit in 2 copies of Salundi Vision. Catherine's list is combining what looks to me to be like a few of the Storm concept ideas. Like, I was running the 3 Grape Shot. It looks like Catherine liked that. 2 copies of Remand. The main deck empty. No Birgi! Catherine doesn't like Birgi, or Birgi, or whatever you would like to call her. Birgi's nuts! I'm a little disappointed by that, but that's okay. We'll live through a league without Birgi. I'm sure we'll get by. But instead, we're going to have 2 copies of Salundi Vision. Those will be our cards to beat Veil of Summer instead of Birgi. You obviously have your 4 gifts and your Past in Flames. It's pretty stock, in my opinion, at least the main deck. And then in the board, I've yet to play Behold the Multiverse, so I'm kind of looking forward to that, to be honest. It's not that I think that the card's bad. Quite the opposite. I think it's pretty good. It's just when the lists that I've been running recently don't have a reason to run a sideboard slot like Behold the Multiverse or Pieces of the Puzzle due to running Birgi. So I'm interested to see how this plays out for myself. I like the 2 copies of Aria, the sideboard empty. All of this seems pretty good to me. Catherine's list looks really solid. Like, I would not be upset if like you had to play someone else's list in an event. This is a pretty good one. So well done, Catherine. Catherine actually offered to do the middle tier, and I said, no, your deck list is so good. Why don't we just do the base tier? So here we are, and I'm just excited to play Magic. If you're interested in doing your own donation deck list, you can do so at theepicstorm.com/donation decks. Like I said, there's multiple tiers. Catherine is doing the base tier for this video. I am not helping with the deck list because it's already perfect. I mean, what could you possibly change? We're going to make suggestions at the end. And then you can read about the other 2 tiers at theepicstorm.com/donation decks. You can also submit there. And then there's obviously like disclaimers and whatnot. So you can go do that. And I'm just going to hop right on in, and I am excited to play some Modern tonight. Welcome to round number 1. We are on the play. All right, so here we have a decent hand. I think I actually want to play the Salundi Vision on 1, so that way we can play Steam Vents Electromancer on 2. We don't have to worry about finding a second land with Serum Visions or Slight. Yeah. And if they're on like the green-white Heliod deck, turn 2 Electromancer is a no-brainer. If they're on a deck with a lot of removal, we can maybe hold back the Electromancer and it won't be a big deal. I don't know what this means. I wonder if I should. I think I'm just gonna I'll Slight first. Guess I'm taking a Baral. I think it's okay to bottom both of these. Next turn we can play Brawl and a Grape Shot if we need to. But I'm not really sure what's happening right now. Like, this could just be like Red-White Prison, I suppose. You may be wondering like why I didn't play Selene Vision as a land there. I'm sort of viewing this as my action spell right now, unless I draw something really good. And Electromancer lived. I wasn't quite expecting that. I wonder if I'm supposed to know what our opponent's doing. So they're just on Panza? Sure. I suppose I could have floated one there. Alright, so we're going to be able to Selene Vision for a single mana while looking like we're holding up Remand. Yeah, this just looks like some sort of red-white prison deck. Guess we'll take a Pyretic Ritual here. I was actually looking for Manamorphose off this. We just didn't happen to hit. Love the Remand draw. Alright, we're back at this point. Very good draw. Okay, so we should be in position to win next turn. We got Mana Tithe. No! That sucks. So if I gifts right now, I'll have 2 mana floating. Are we actually in a spot where I would consider going to get a land? So I've literally, I don't think I've ever gifts for lands before. So here I can get Spire Bluff. Like, I think you just get 3 lands that cast Manamorphose and Manamorphose. I was not expecting Manatee. That's really funny. Alright, we drew a land. Not ideal when we gifts for them. No Manatee at that time. I'm wondering if I even get the grape shot because, like, literally the only way we can lose is if we put the grape shot to the graveyard. And it looks like our opponent just conceded. So we're going to take game one over red white land destruction. I don't know if I really like emptying these sort of matchups. Arya seems fantastic. So I'm probably going to board an Arya. I don't mind shaving a little bit on the gifts package, just because they're likely to have something like Rest in Peace. I think a Braid and Echoing Truth make a lot of sense. And I'm wondering if we want these. Grape Shot gets a little bit worse. Like, it's not that it's worse, it's that it doesn't have a lot of targets, I suppose. So that's why you can afford to shave one. Like, what are you going to Grape Shot out of Red White Prison? I think you probably want to keep two just so that way you're more likely to find them, so you're not leaning on Arya to win if you, like, for some reason you mill one with pieces of the puzzle and have Rest in Peace. So two's a pretty safe number. I don't hate in these matchups boarding down on creatures. So I think I like taking out Electromancer, for example. I'm fine with that. And I think I might even be okay with boarding out one more Gifts. And then from there, I'd probably just take out a few cantrips. Like, Behold the Multiverse is just a super cantrip anyway. Maybe something like this. I think this is probably fine. I don't love Empty in general just because, like, the Red White Prison deck, we saw that they had Magus of the Tabernacle. They probably have Anger of the Gods. Actually, let's just board this card out. I don't want that card in my deck. I'd rather have a cantrip. Let's do this. And then you can watch me regret it in the middle of game two. Alright. I've certainly kept worse hands against the land destruction deck. My only concern is Blood Moon based on us having all non-basics. It is one downside of running the fetchless version, is that you're a little bit weaker against Blood Moon. Gonna run our good friend B-Roll. B-Roll died. Okay, so do we get to untap without a red enchantment in play? I don't care about that, sure. So they have the Flagstone's Boom Bust combo, so now they go and get a Plains from their deck. So they're essentially even on mana, and we are down on 1 mana. I suppose I was supposed to play out a Spire Bluff there. Let's see if it even matters. Just because one of these would come into play untapped if they don't play another land destruction effect. So that was like a subtle mistake, but I doubt it actually has a big impact. Oh, it's cute. You can also use Sunbaked Canyon with Boom Bust. That's not something I considered. I wonder if they had that or if they drew the Boom Bust. Because you could target it and then sacrifice it. And unfortunately for our opponent, we kept all lands all the time. That's right, you pass. Be afraid. Got romance for days. Okay, so I am still going to hold open remand. There's no reason to tap out for pieces of the puzzle. All you're doing is making yourself more susceptible to hate permanence, and I'd just rather not be in that position. Sure. I'm not going to counter a Stone Rain. We are a little bit flooded. Imagine being flooded versus the land destruction deck, am I right? Okay. So Catherine obviously built their deck really well. Tons of lands for your land destruction matchup. Just really common in modern. Trinisphere. That is a card that nobody likes. I guess we remand it. Keep it off the board for another turn. Although next turn they will probably have Mana Tithe to counter our remand. Or if they have another land that would stop us. I think I'm actually supposed to just cantrip here. Look for a Braid. It's probably a more boom. Couldn't have planned it any better. Alright, Behold, I'm sorry. You're just not what I need right now. And let's get that trash card off the table. No one likes a Trinisphere. Get out of here. We're starting to have a pretty nice graveyard as well. Uh-oh. Are we going to get to do fun stuff? And we drew another ritual, too. Rip opponent. Now we're going to splice this desperate ritual. Between the Pauper video 2 days ago and this, I don't think I've spliced this much since like 2002. We're also a little late. It's still fine to cast. Like, even if they have another Lightning Bolt, it's going to be a 1-mana play that cost us. And if they don't have Bolt, then it's just an easy win. Alright, well, they had the Bolt, which is still fine. Like, we're not in jeopardy of losing. Just going to play all of our rituals. And you might be wondering, like, why don't you Manamorphose to look for another Brawl? We just don't need to. That's the truth here. We are rich on resources. So it's just like, take your time. You don't really need to do anything. And there's a double Grape Shot. Why not? Make a few blue. Just cantripping away. And now we go for lethal. Hey! And we have won a match. Alright. So once again, Catherine's list is perfect, and I think we're probably going to 5-0. So many lands, and they all worked out. Think about it. This is turn 10. We have 6 lands in play, and I think we actually had 4 destroyed. Did we hit a land every turn? Um, I think we might have. I think we might have hit every land drop this game. I'd have to go back and double check. The pieces probably milled this one. Um, I'm not sure. Like, I'd have to rewatch, but I think we might have hit every land drop this game, which is kind of funny. But once again, we're 1-0. Stick around. And we are back with round number 2. We're on the play. This seems pretty good to me. Yeah, let's keep. Really just looking for an enabler here, so Baral or Goblin Electromancer to help reduce the cost of things like Gifts Ungiven and Past in Flames. Like you saw in our last game, you don't necessarily need enablers to win the game, but they certainly make it easier. Our opponent is mulliganed. Not that big of a deal. Only a 1-card difference. And really it's 0 when they're on the draw. It's pretty free to do. Especially with the London Mulligan being so broken. I found in Legacy that I keep... or I mulligan some hands that I would have kept under the Vancouver. Like, the London Mulligan is just, like, really degenerate. I mean, I like it. It's just degenerate. And there's the enabler we wanted. I'm going to actually bottom the Grape Shot. And I think you're pretty free to keep the Opt here, because we're probably casting Stern Visions on 2 anyway. And if that's the case, you're going to have 1 mana left over. So it might as well be an Opt. We could be facing Jund here. I don't know if Jund plays Hexdrinker. This might be Jund Shadow. They know that we kept an Opt. How mysterious. I think I'm good with these as well. Next turn we'll play out an Electromancer. It will likely die, and then we'll follow it up with a second Electromancer. Could have played a Grape Shot there to kill Hexdrinker. I don't think you need to do that. And that's our Lurgoyf. Sorry if my mic is picking up my watch. It's just going bananas. I actually wonder if I'm even supposed to play the Electromancer here, or if I'm supposed to just go and set Ritual Gifts and get like 4 pieces of mana. That might honestly just be better. Thoughtseize is kind of brutal here. I think we're still supposed to Gifts. Might sound a little bit nuts. I think we're supposed to get a Grape Shot. They're putting themselves to 12, and if they give us Grape Shot here, we're not that far off from killing them with double Grape Shot. You could have gotten like land 4 with it, I suppose. I don't know if that's the avenue I really want to take. And it looks like they're going to go with the Discord Morphos, leave you with double Grape Shot. Hope you don't draw Mana Line, if I had to guess. And the opponent will... I don't know. And I think that's probably correct, and you just hope that I don't draw into mana. But who knows? Another Goyf. So they might have lethal. That was not a good draw. So what I could do is I could grape shot this Hex Drinker. If I take that line, these become... let me undo. These become 5/5 or 5/6s, and then they have lethal anyway. So you're supposed to just pass here, as bad as it looks. We could just be dead. This is the... Oh, Thoughtseize, okay. I was going to say Fatal Push, and then it wasn't. Collector Brutality? Dismember? And that's going to do it. Okay, so we lost game number 1 to what appears to be Jun Shadow. In these matchups, I actually really like boarding out all of my creatures, just giving them 0 targets for those removal spells, and playing a grindier game. So something like this is what I'm looking to do in post-board games. Like, I'm not really looking to turn on Lightning Bolt or Dismember or anything like that. I'm just looking to slowly outgrind them. You could board out like a Gifts Ungiven for like Echoing Truth. Or I don't think you really need a Braid, to be honest, but you could do those if you want to play safe. I think that if you're trying to dodge Graveyard Hate, you have enough options in the main deck where even if these cards are shut off, you can just do other things. So I'm going to hit submit here. And yeah. If you want to support this content, you can always go to theepicstorm.com/shop, pick up a baseball tee, a pint glass, or a mini token pack, which I personally would recommend quite a bit. If you're interested, for $12, you get 54 Storm tokens. And by that I mean you get 20 actual Storm tokens, 10 black, 10 red, 6 blue, 3 of the rest. And on the back, whoops, clicked the wrong thing. You get 9 of each Goblin token, 54 overall, and they are mini. Once again, you can get those at theepicstorm.com/shop. Game 2, we're on the play. Yeah, this seems great. Opponent is mulliganing once again. This is going to be a longer game, so I'm just going to play out this Lundy Isle. I'm looking for a land that's not going to deal me repeated damage, and we're going to want a lot of lands in play for this Past in Flames anyway. I imagine it's Morphos, but both the cantrips are fine options. We can just pass here. We can opt on their end step. Don't show them that we actually drew sleight of hand for turn. And this way, if for some reason we needed to bolt, we can, but usually you don't bolt on your opponent's turn. Okay, so coming out of the gates. Do I want the grape shot? Probably. If they're going to kill themselves, grape shot and a bolt seems terrific. I don't know what the right pick is here. It could be a ritual. It could also just be grape shot itself. So if they let's say they take grape shot, we have 3 mana, 4, 5. You need 6 for Past in Flames because you need to cast it with 2 mana floating. Just something to keep in the back of your head. So it could be a ritual because in order to kill them with these, you kind of need more spells that you can actually cast. So I think it might actually be the ritual. And they chose Past in Flames, which is kind of interesting. They're at 12. So right now this would be 7 damage, so not quite good enough. Another grape shot off the top would do it. Ooh, do I want to empty for 6? I think the answer is yes. I'm sorry, for 8 because of the Serum Visions. My bad. Right now we are representing lethal, assuming that they don't have an answer. Boom! Can't stop the Goblin Horde. All right, going into game 3. I mean, it worked for game 2, so I don't think we're going to change anything. Just a deck full of great cards that don't die to spot removal. That's the game plan. And if you're not already, make sure you follow all of the Epic Storm social media networks and channels. You can find those in the description below. Be a part of the Combo Cabal, the Storm community, and share some of your great combo thoughts and suggestions. Okay, the final game versus Jund. Once again, this hand has exactly what I'm looking for. It's just lands and spells. So we're going to try this out. And there's the drinker. Weird that they didn't wait for me to draw a card. Like, they could have just gotten an extra piece of information there. Don't need another canal. This ritual seems fine. I don't know what the pick is. Like, our hands are solid. You could argue that it's Opt. In my opinion, you could argue Manamorphose. Honestly, like, every single card in this hand, I think there's, like, an opinion for taking. If you have Graveyard Hate in your hand, I don't mind the Past in Flames. Uh, but that's, like, kind of tied. And honestly, I think Solemnity Vision is a reasonable take, but if I had to pick a card for them to discard, I think it's that one. Ooh, back-to-back Thoughtseize. Is this Opt? Okay, so they're going on the keep you off cards plan. I should probably not F6. They don't need to know that I don't have remand. And the drinker comes in. Finally, we get to see a Death Shadow. Not that I want to see it. So once again, we have 3 mana, 4, 5. We would have to draw a Ritual off Morphos. So instead of burning Mana Morphos this turn, I'm just going to pass. And then next turn, we already have this land drop, which will give us the 2 mana floating for Past in Flames that we need. Yikes, they're pretty close to killing us if they have a certain magic card in their hand. My general belief is that you don't say those cards out loud. It's just not good. Are they dismembering themselves? Wow. We do have a few bolts in the deck. We might need to cycle this Manamorphose and pray to hit bolt. Uh-oh, they have it. I think we're going all in on the let's pray to hit lightning bolt. And it doesn't hurt to cast these rituals in response in case you hit like a Slundy Vision or something else. Like if you had a chain of blue cantrips that are all instants or something. Alright, deck, give me bolt. Wrong red instant. Oh, if we would have... I guess they would have had a giant trampler. We got. Alright, so we're going to be 1-1. And, yeah. So close. Womp womp. Okay. Round 3, we're on the play. Yep. Basically, I have a rule when I play Modern Storm. If your hand has lands and spells, you usually keep. These both seem reasonable. This looks like it could be like Modern Death and Taxes or the Heliod deck. But the Heliod deck usually tries to aim on a turn 1 green source. I know that I want the Morphos on top, so I'm playing that. I don't think I need this ritual, so I'm going to bottom. I would have liked both of these, but what's more important, the bear or the gifts? We have 7 mana enablers in the deck. We have 4 gifts, so you take the gifts. Excuse me. Not really sure what's going on here. I think I'm going to main phase this, because if I see a creature, I would consider playing it. Alright, I'm just going to pass. I realized that on their end step I could have gone Ritual Gifts. I'm just not sure if I want to be honest. And next turn I can do it without burning gifts, or without burning a Ritual. So that way I think the standard pile would likely kill them. And this is definitely Modern Death and Taxes. I was wondering if it was the, what is it called? the like mono white enchantment deck. I don't know. Words are difficult. That was a good one. All right, so I believe we're gonna untap and do the thing, the killing of the opponent. I mean, of all the things you can do in Modern, they chose to play Batterskull. I don't know why you do that. So this is a cute interaction with Leon and Arbiter and Ghost Quarter. It becomes Wasteland, aka Strip Mine, because I guess it can destroy basics too. So that's cute. They're definitely not giving us Grape Shot, so I don't mind getting that. I don't even think we need an enabler here. And they gave us Grape Shot. Bold. Alright, so I'm going to start on Manamorphose here in case we hit an enabler. Boom. I am smart and thin. They could be holding up Path to Exile here, and that's just fine. What we're going to do is we're going to cast a Ritual now. And basically get all of our spells out of the way that we can. Hopefully hit another Ritual off this Lundy Vision. Boom. And we don't even need to cast this Past in Flames now. We have double shot. So if you wanted to pay for the search on your creature getting removed, you have to click on the Arbiter first, and then like, because you basically have to pay 2 until the end of the turn. They can't search again. It's just like not the most intuitive user experience sort of thing. Like as someone who would be new to Magic Online, there's like zero reason that I'd be like, oh, I need to click on this creature in order to like. It's just I don't know. There should be like a prompt or something. It's just strange. But Magic Online is coded very oddly. Like there's a lot of bugs and stuff, which happens. It's a 20-year-old program, and I don't know if there's a lot of like future planning built in. Like there used to be a bug that, at least in Legacy, where if you clicked same targets with your Storm spell, and your opponent had a Leovold in play, they would draw for every Storm target. But if you clicked on their icon, they would only draw 1. So there's just like a bunch of weird hacky sort of things. And I don't know if like clicking on Arbiter makes sense, but not to me. Alright, so we're going to bring in the permanent hate cards. Probably Arya just to avoid Rest in Peace. Probably shave on this plan a little bit. I also like boarding out the search cards. I don't know if this is a Behold sort of matchup. It could be. A lot of cards to take out. I sort of like keeping Brawl in, just because Brawl, if it ever gets into a fight with Thalia, goes very, very well. Brawl negates the attacks on Thalia while beating up Thalia. Doesn't care about a 2-1 first strike. Brawl's just a very powerful wizard. I do think that you can shave on Remand here. You really want to keep your Grape Shots, your Bolts, your Abrades, all this good stuff. Honestly, I feel like this is a matchup where Lundy Vision doesn't shine that well. And I just don't know if, like, Behold the Multiverse is really what you want to be doing. Like, maybe you should just board all 4 gifts and just do this. So then you don't really have that many search effects for Arbiter. Let's try this. Why not? Let's experiment. Sure. Like, this could go pretty poorly, but I'm going to give it a shot. Alright, land is good. I do like the lands. Stoneforge. Kids love their batter skulls. Brawl is such a sweet card. Yikes. We do have bolts for that. So what I could do is I could foretell this and then play sleight of hand. Or I can cast pieces. They're like pretty similar. I could also just play the Aria, but the problem is the Aria is a very slow burn. Especially when they're about to have a batter skull. I think I'm going to take the Aria foretell line. I'm sorry, the sleight of hand foretell line. My bad. Oh no, I played it tapped. Oh, I'm dumb. I just... Narrating your plays sometimes has a cost, and that was one of them. Word vomit came out, and I didn't do what I wanted to do. I wanted to play this untapped and then foretell this. A little disappointed with that. So what I think what our opponent wanted to do there was cast the Arbiter with these 2 lands and then Ghost Quarter me. Bolt, bolt, bolt. Sad. Well, that is a bolt. Yeah, I just don't think I have time for the Behold the Multiverse. Like, maybe that's a card I shouldn't have boarded in. If you have Mana Tithe, you got me. Alright, so we need to figure out what our game plan is now. So, I can Ritual Aria. The problem is they're going to have Batterskull next turn. So we're racing Batterskull with Aria Flame, which we might be able to do. It's just sort of a tall ask. So they're going to be swinging for 7 next turn. And then we have 1 turn, essentially, because the following turn they'll be killing us. So we have next turn to kill them. They're going to be at 31. I'm sorry, 30, because you have to tap Silent Clearing. So I believe the magic number on Aria Flame is 7, but that doesn't count for things like Grape Shot. Can we do it? Didn't attack with Stoneforge. That's interesting. So that means that they could have another piece of equipment. The world is our oyster. Can we do it? Brawl's not a wizard card I want at the moment. I will take that sleight of hand, though. Gonna make blue with this Morphos. We're looking for another cantrip here. Does that do it? Okay, so I need to think about this for a sec. So we're going to play Grape Shot, which will deal them 5. Off of the Aria. Grape Shot will then deal them 5. And then the next one... Actually, is that... I think that's lethal. It is. Alright, so I've got this now. So this will deal 5 and then 6, which is 11 damage. This is going to deal 5 plus 6. Yeah, the math just works out. Catherine looking very intelligent right now. All these grape shots. Props to Catherine. That sword isn't going to save you. Boom. All right, so now we're 2-1 with 2 to go. The fourth match with Fetchless Blue-Red Gifts Storm. We are on the play. I don't think we can keep this one. This seems fine. As crazy it is, I think you're supposed to bottom the opt there. Because if you draw land 3, you're just looking to end step gifts and then untap and Past in Flames win. And the opt, like if you keep the opt, you're looking for a ritual or a land. So it's sort of similar. Okay, another ritual. Don't mind that, but I would like to draw a land on turn 3. Okay. Take it. That's really brutal for us. I don't think we actually have any outs to that. I don't believe that Catherine's list has the repeal in it. I think repeal stinks, so I wouldn't play it either. But against specifically the Chalice 2 deck, it's relevant. Yeah. Scoop them up. He got us this time. Alright, so do we even want a Braid or Echoing Truth? I don't know. I do like Aria. Like, I just don't know if you're supposed to board in these cards versus the deck that's trying to Chalice to you. Like, Echoing Truth I can see. I'm not as sold on a Braid. Let's try this. Why not? Sure. Pretty good hand. If we go completely untouched until turn 3, this is a turn 3 win. But I'd be willing to bet that they have some sort of interaction, whether it be Dismember or Chalice or whatever. Leyline of the Void. So we get really, really punished if we... There's a line we can take here that just gets wrecked by Dismember. We can go land, ritual, Morphos, Baral, ritual, empty. And that's very, very likely to beat them. Instead, I think we're supposed to just play Baral. Oh, let's not take one extra damage for no reason. Instead, I think we're supposed to just play Baral. You could also just like empty for 8, but I'd rather try to win the game next turn. All right, and our opponent just conceded the game. Game 3. Yeah, I think we just go with the current plan. On the draw, Remand has a lot more value. Keeping this. Okay. Well, that's one reason to board in a braid. We can still win through a cage. I'm not too concerned. We sided in Aria. We also have double Grape Shot, the Echoing Truth. I bottomed the... What is it called? The Manamorphose, because if our opponent plays a Chalice 2 here, it's just another card we can't use. And this looks like Chalice. Alright, we're playing the long game now. That's brutal. Not looking too good. All right, Catherine. I apologize, but I'm going to concede this one. I am with you, Catherine. I would not play Repeal specifically because our opponent is playing a Chalice deck, or could be playing a Chalice 2 deck. I think that those are matchups where you accept a loss rather than potentially drawing to a singleton that you have no way to tutor for. So we're going to be 2-2, and hopefully we'll get match number 5. Okay, the last match. We're facing Influx MTGO. This seems like a keep to me. I'm going to try it out. This whole Remand Brawl thing I heard has some synergy built into it. We have a few cantrips. Seems great. See if I have them in the stack or if I put them away. I still have them here. Even though I don't like the Fetchless build, these arrived today. Pretty happy with them. Yeah, Japanese foil Riverglide Pathways. All right, so it's either Tron or Eldrazi Tron. I like these Remands. While I was in there, I remembered the card that I play that Catherine isn't. I guess I have some Selendi Visions in here too. These are all cards that arrived in the mail today. Birgi! Sorry, a little bit of show and tell time. Really thrilled with these. I got all this stuff off of... I am not sponsored in any sort of way, by the way. Haruya? I can never say it correctly. But love that site. I buy all my cards from there for the most part. Buy them early and often. That's what you do with Japanese foils. the best advice I can give you. I was a very early adapter onto Veil of Summer. In my mind, I was like, yeah, of course I want the green silence. And I bought my Japanese foils for $4 on the day that they were released, and now they're like roughly a bajillion. So just buy your Japanese foils early. I know it sounds a little bit privileged, and I'm mostly joking, but that's my strategy. Okay, so here I am going to, like, we could in theory try to win right now. I think that's a little ambitious. I think you're better off playing it a little bit safe, keeping up remand, and trying to win on your next turn. That's annoying. So we have two options here. We can remand the Karn, or we can remand whatever Karn gets. My problem with remanding whatever Karn gets is that, um, like, if they have a damping sphere, not that they probably would, but they could also get Grafdigger's Cage, and that sets us back. So with remanding Karn, the only thing they can possibly get is a Tormod's Crypt, and we can beat a Crypt. But if they have Cage, it's just considerably worse, and they went and got Cage and not Crypt. So we're going to do the thing where we kill our opponent now, because that is one of my favorite things to do. Get out of here. I guess we'll get the other Passing Flames. Why not? They don't need to know that we don't have it in our hand. A lot of times when you show the opponent this standard pile, they'll just concede. Because you're pretty much demonstrating that I'm not an idiot and I will eventually kill you with enough clicks. Okay. Click, click, click. Empty's cute, but we don't really need it. I understand that I could also Gifts and Given again. I was kind of just hoping that I could just draw into the grape shop, but that was not the case. I say that, and then it happened. Perfect planning. One mana Gifts and Given. We'll make them think that we messed up. Just for laughs. We just needed to cast a spell there. It doesn't hurt to add on a few more. Okay, we've gotten game number 1 off of regular Tron, not Eldrazi Tron, which is what we faced last round. So Remand is staying in. You don't need 3 grape shots in this matchup in my experience, and I like bringing in these. This is a matchup where I think Empty isn't that good between Karn and Ugin and everything else. I think Empty's like a pretty big liability. So we need one more slot to take out. Some people would tell you it's supposed to be a cost reducer. I disagree. I think that on turn 2, you really want to be playing one of those. In my opinion, it's Salundi Vision. I think that's just not a card you really want. You could ward in pieces of the puzzle to help beat things like Grafdigger's Cage or Maybe we should be doing that. Are we really doing this? So what are we taking out then? I think it has to be like 1-mana cantrips. If we're holding up Remand, we probably want Opt and boarding out Sleight of Hand. Alright, I guess this is what we're doing. Yeah, this seems fun. I've probably said that like a million times in this video. I apologize. If you could be like playing a drinking game alongside of me going, this is fine. It's all fine. Map. Love the Remand draw. For playing only as a 2-off, we've drawn it in the matchups where you want it. Alright, so they're going to use Expedition Map here. They're going to go get Tower, play Tower, and have 7 open mana. And that leads to a lot of dangerous things for us. It could be either Karn. Well, we're going to remand that. Get out of here. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess they won't be able to activate it on our turn. So we have like a small window here to try to win with pieces. It'd be good if we drew a ritual. Gross. This is going to be a tough win from this position. All right, well, we hit a Braid, which is what we want because that card's probably going to go get Trinisphere. So that was fine, even if we didn't win right there. We are filling up our graveyard, so the relic is a little bit more relevant. I imagine that this is just Karn into Trinisphere. Maybe not. They're second guessing it. I am old and I have back problems, so I've been trying to do a better job about sitting up straight. Liquid metal coating. Okay, so you're going to blow up one of my lands next turn? I don't know what they thought was going to happen there. I think that they were supposed to target the island. Now we attack Karn. So this way if they minus Karn next turn it dies. I think I'm supposed to just pass here. So this keeps my options open with Selene Vision in case they play like a huge thing. I might be able to Selene Vision into the last copy of Remand. If I hit another Braid, they don't know what to get with it, with their Karn. It gives me a little bit more flexibility, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I'm just throwing it out there. I would love a Birgi right now, or Birgi, however you would like to pronounce it. I think Birgi would probably crack this game wide open. Where we had this pieces of the puzzle, and it was fine, but Birgi would have been bananas. Alright, and they've chosen to use Karn. My graveyard is double shut off. So I should not get Past in Flames considering they have two things in play that make it pretty poor. So it's between like Manamorphose and the other Selene Vision. Yeah, if the Selene Vision was a Birgi as well. Ensnaring Bridge, that's interesting. So they don't have a Trinisphere in their board? Maybe I'm just out of touch, but like, I thought that every Tron deck had a Trinisphere in their board. There's that Past in Flames card. So it's worth noting that they tapped out with their relics. We find Echoing Truth off of these. We can kill them with the Past in Flames. Guess I'm taking Remand. It doesn't seem very good right now. I feel like we just missed a pretty big window. I also had another Braid, so we were looking for two outs there. Echoing Truth and the final Braid would have done it. All right, so 9 mana is not 10. That keeps them off of Ugin. Or not Ugin, Ulamog. I will let you Oblivion Stone, trust me. If you want to stone away my Brawl for all your everything, have at it. One card. So if I had cast this last turn, I wouldn't have had enough mana to win. So if I drew Gifts Ungiven right now, we could set up a way of winning. It's a little bit difficult. Oh my. Okay, so here's what we do. And I don't know if we have enough mana for this. Uh, we would Echoing Truth Cage, Ritual, and then play Past in Flames. They would use Relic. And then we Gifts in response. I think we're a mana short is the issue. Because we'd have to get like 3 lands, something else. So the fact that the Spirebluff Canal comes into play tapped is biting me here. Crap. Here it is. The card I shouldn't have said out loud last turn. Alright, they have 1 card in hand. I think we might actually be able to win this. Why would I do that? I don't need to do that. It's fine. No land. I guess I could have like remanded it. I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to do that, just to draw a card and filter. Get that stupid cage out of here. Okay, so Brawl, Ritual, cast this card. Sure. Goblin Electromancer down. So you can cast Gifts there. I don't agree with that. I think you're supposed to try to make a little bit more mana first, which is why I wanted to cast the Past in Flames. Because like there's a chance that you don't win, and if you cast the Past in Flames first, it's very likely that you do win. Now we target them. We have that magic 3 mana floating, and this is likely going to do it. So they're at 20. I don't like putting the Grape Shot to the yard here. Because like in theory we could lose against Surgical. But if I go get like pieces of the puzzle, they give us Morphos pieces. I don't know. If they had Surgical, like they could have hit Past in Flames at some point, or like our Morphos or something. I'm just not gonna play around it. And they gave us Grape Shot, which means I believe they're just dead. They knew that we had Remand. Okay, so this should do it. Woot woot! 3-2. Alright, so now let's look at Catherine's list once again. I mean, it's super unlikely that this is ever going to come up, but we did have a game where we gifted for lands. Like, that was something that happened. We didn't need Basic Island, we needed a red source, but yeah. So I'll be honest, I didn't notice a big difference between Salundi Vision and 12 cantrips. Like the Salundi Vision a few times was a land in itself. That was sort of nice. There's a few times where I wished it was Birgi. Loved Three Grape Shot. I did a video on that not too long ago. Catherine must have watched it. I'm guessing they did. I don't know. But Three Grape Shot was terrific this league. Huge fan. The Empties, surprisingly good. There was a few times where I felt like they pulled their weight. Unfortunately, never got to cast Behold the Multiverse. I sided it in a few times. Maybe one time when I wasn't supposed to. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience playing the card yet, so I don't know when I'm supposed to do that when I'm not. We didn't end up facing very many blue decks, so, and very many meaning 0 blue decks, so Mystical Dispute never really came up. Pieces is fine. I think if you're not going to run Birgi in the main, maybe you should consider it in the board. I just think it's better than this like sort of pieces slot. Like Birgi's so powerful, where it could have just blown through the relic earlier on in that match. And a lot of you might be thinking like, well, maybe you should run something in the board to deal with Chalice too. I'm with Catherine. I don't think that's something I should prepare for. It's so unlikely, and Eldrazi Tron isn't that popular to begin with. I think you just sort of take your lumps when you get paired into those decks. So, yeah. In general, I just want to thank Catherine once again. I've thanked them several times throughout the course of this video, but thank you for your donation deck list. If you're interested in a donation deck list, you can go to the link in the description below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and keep storming. I hope you enjoy your day. Take care. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.